there's ever been an industry milestone set by marketing gurus, it has got to be making six figures as an online health and fitness coach. But very few people actually talk about what it looks like to reach six figures, how realistic it is to maintain that, and what it might mean for taxes. My name is Annie Miller, and I help you build a sustainable online health and fitness business without selling your soul to vanity metrics or having to do sales calls if you don't want to do them. Today, I am dropping the truth behind making those oh so coveted six figures. Allow me to be the person who sheds light for you onto the reality of making $100,000. Note that I said making 100K, which leads us to point number one. There is a difference between you making six figures and your business generating six figures. Both are awesome goals to have, but they are not necessarily the same thing. The revenue that your business generates is just that, revenue. It is not your personal income, though the structure of your business entity does matter when saying that. So yes, if you are a sole prop, then you can pull money from your business, but it would still need to be transferred to a personal account before spending that money on personal things. Once you're an LLC or an S Corp, you might pay yourself a set monthly salary. No matter your entity type, business money and personal money are not the same. That's the point. The next thing that I want you to think about if you want to hit six figures, which is a respectable and worthwhile goal, is the how. In my own experience, I was bombarded with coaches who coach coaches sliding into my DMs telling me that they love what I'm doing and they see potential in my business, but they could help me reach X metric. Fucking barf. They all had the same tactics. Cold DMing, exactly how they just did to me, which is incredibly impersonal and off-putting in my opinion, getting prospects on a call, hiding prices, and then charging up the butt for one single service. Now, that is one business model that you could use, but if you know about my FitsPro Foundations course, you know that I don't think that one size fits all for fitness, business, or life in general. You have options, and you have options in how you're going to reach that six-figure milestone in your business. My second point is to be careful in buying into a business model that doesn't actually align with what you want for your life, because life and business need to go hand in hand. They should play nicely with one another. Or that is my personal perspective, especially if building a personal brand. Sales calls to high ticket is not a bad thing. I want to make that clear. It's also probably the fastest way to make that $100,000. But what happens after you see that 100K generated in your Stripe account? You just keep doing sales calls all day. Is that your growth plan for your business? That's what I want you to look at. For me, I traveled the world full time during the season that I was working to scale my business, meaning that I'd maxed out my one-on-one roster and was building out a membership to scale through. That's how I personally hit 10K months and 100K years. I had to find another way because being on sales calls or even client calls while jumping in different time zones just was not a business model that was going to work for me. And frankly, I don't think it is a business model that works for a lot of people, in particular parents or students who have busy and or unpredictable schedules. Let me be clear here. I do think one-on-one higher ticket services are the best way to start an online health and fitness business for most people, but that could be a whole other episode in itself. This approach may be how you reach your six figures. I just want you to think beyond that and be sure that you're approaching the milestone with a business model that makes sense for scaling beyond that six figures or simply nailing that six figures. Hitting 100K and beyond may mean, and I think oftentimes does mean, hiring a VA or an assistant coach, paying someone or using some software to help your business run more efficiently. Because doing this makes more space to serve more clients and therefore generate higher revenue. Consider that hitting those six figures and beyond may also involve hiring help. Before we dive into the gut-wrenching topic of taxes, let me know in the comments if you offer one-on-one currently and if you plan or want to scale beyond that. So big LOL to making $100,000 and then quickly paying the government 30,000 of that. I'm kidding, kind of. Obviously, we have write-offs and ways to decrease our total taxable income. You need to consult an accountant for that, to be clear. But in general, I want you to be prepared to pay taxes as you build a more profitable business. Taxes are a reality of having a successful, profitable business, and you can't play the I want the biggest return game forever if you actually want to build a legitimate business in the long term. Paying taxes just becomes another business expense. It's not fun. It is your hard-earned money, especially when you are a self-made entrepreneur. I get that. But if you can swing it to be a good thing, it may reduce the sting a little bit. I personally keep a bank account titled The Government's Money, and that started back in 2018 or so, and I based that off of the book Profit First, which I highly recommend you read if you are interested in finances and business. The third point is simply because I feel, and this could be my own projection, that six figures is touted as some parallel to a glamorous life. And while I do think that it's a big milestone and you can absolutely be proud of it, you can want it, it does come with paying more taxes oftentimes. Having to maintain and scale it, and more business expenses just come with that. 100% still worth it to keep going. Just don't forget the how, your business model, and to separate personal and business money, and that tax season is always going to come around. From my own personal experience, the more that you make, the more often they want you to pay the IRS. I now pay the IRS what most Americans would consider a very hefty salary. It's all part of the game, and I still think that capitalism is the GOAT. Now, I don't know if you would consider this video one to appreciate or not, but if you found it insightful in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Go get after it, build your business, don't be a slime bag in the DMs, and tell them that Annie sent you. I'll see you guys in the next one.